Hey, what's up guys, Vex here. So if you don't already know, this is the series where I talk about the basic tactics behind PvP in every class. So let's get straight into this fucking thing. We're gonna be talking about the medic today. Yeah. So the medic can either DPS or heal. Pretty standard, right? Well, as always, we're gonna talk about the DPSing first because that's the fun bit. So what does the medic do? Well, the medic is a very short melee range caster that likes to zap the fuck out of people with their awesome resonators using AoE and things called probes, which are like little bubble robots that float around the enemy doing dots and then exploding right at the end for extra damage. So, how does DPSing as a medic work? Well, you're in medium armor. You want to be right up in their face. This is so important. You want to be all up in their grill. You want to be like, hey, I'm a medic. Hey, look at me, asshole, look at me. Hey. You just want to drive them insane with your awesome resonators. That being said, this is not always the easiest thing to do because people will CC you, people will knock you back. So, instead of letting them control the position of both of you, you want to control the position. You want to have the positional power, and that is where your CC things come in. So obviously stuns and things like that are very basic, but you also really want to have some fields out there. Give me just 1 second. I'm looking for it. Okay, so I'm sorry. Restraint grid is obviously the prime example of that. Sorry about that. Blink backward and leave a field behind, lasting 4.5 seconds. Foes inside the field are snared. Snares reduce movement speed by 50%. That can be tiered up all the way, and you can get it so that it has 2 charges. Obviously, it's a 5-meter range, so this is going to be used in melee range, but it's the prime example of controlling the position of your enemy so that you can be up in their face, but they can't be with their teammates. You're jumping back, you're zapping them to death, and they're stuck inside that field. It's like a field of glue, right? Reduce movement speed by 50%. They're in a field of glue just trying to lug their way out. Meanwhile, you're zapping their fucking faces off. You're prodding on the probes, basically just burning them to the ground. And that's really important. So you really want to focus on, I say this all the time, but positioning is just your number one primary fucking just the perfect thing, because medic doesn't have that many dodge abilities, and since they're not in heavy armors like engineers, you need to be fully aware of where you are and where the rest of their team are. You need to be using these fields, these things like restraint grids, magnetic lockdown, roots the foe. The CC is very important. So instead of having, 6 DPS abilities, you're actually probably only gonna have 5. I would say 4 would be a little too low, but you're only gonna have around 5. And the rest will be focused around CCing, and then maybe the healing. Something like Healing Nova is really useful. Paddle Shock is a hybrid ability, so it deals technology damage to them and heals yourself. But remember that it can only be used after a crit, so you want to make sure that you know when that's going to be used. That's your RNG, that's your random number generation. But yeah, positional advantages are really important. As I said, nullification field is also another one. It's like restraint grid, but another field. Just trapping them in a location that they don't want to be in is your number one primary thing in a medic, because you don't have the advantages that many others don't. So make sure you are close up but away. You're dragging them out. You're sectioning out the weak one in the herd and burning him down. Obviously, this can change, like in Walatiki Temple. If a Moody Master is being captured, you want to be right up in there and using your fields, but still you're sectioning away other teammates to get help. So it's a team game. You have to remember that. I go on about this so often in my analyses and stuff. Whatever. You have to be sectioning away because it's a team game, and if someone's alone, they're gonna die, and you can take them. Work as a team and just crush them. But yeah, positional advantages are so useful, and you need to be completely wary of that. You can't really dodge that much. You can't sustain that much damage, so you need to work on that positioning. That should be your primary focus. Obviously, they're the basic tactics. You just always want to be building up your power cores with basic things like discharge and stuff. But they're the really basics. I can't really give you a cookie cutter build because I don't believe in them. I'm not going to lie. I don't think the cookie cutter builds actually work well, I think that you should really work on how you think works best. And since there are a lot of skills for each class, this can differ for a lot of people. But anyway, let's get into healing. Healing is actually surprisingly similar. The medic is all about positioning and locking down his foes in certain situations they don't want to be in. Oh, just as a side note, urgency is a must-have. While I don't believe in cookie-cutter builds, break free from movement and pairing CC, and blink forward to the nearest ally or foe. How is that not amazing? Anyway. What the hell? Anyway, sorry. I got distracted again. Holy crap. You really want to be, as a healer, doing the same thing as you are as a DPS. You want to be focusing on the position of your enemies and the position of your allies, and you want to just be basically healing them. The healing side of being a medic is based around probes, actually. It's based around empowerment and healing over time. Having said that, you do have things like a field surgeon, which are just instant heals, treat wounds, but you also have things like extricate. Extricate is again another one of these position-based skills. Restore X health and pull party members. You pull your team members towards you. You can pull them out of telegraphs, you can pull them out of terrible situations they're being in, and this works really, really well with things like restraint grid. If you drop a restraint grid forward, drop them on a group of enemies, then blink backwards, and then use extricate. You've pulled your teammates back, and you've stuck their entire team in a 50% slow. That leaves them exposed to so many things, but that's a more advanced PvP tactic. But yeah, healing is, again, based around just these fast heals, these fast hybrid heals, and some hots, I should say, but mainly just positioning, just knowing where you should be and knowing where you can't be, and knowing where you want them. But you know, I'm being so ambiguous in this one, I'm sorry. I don't feel like I'm explaining this very well. But that's what you should be focusing on. You should be focusing on locking down the opponent away from their teammates, and if your teammates are in a bad situation, getting them out of it. You're the medic, you know? You're the guy that people call for, the guy that people need help from, and when your teammates are fucked, you fuck the enemy. Best advice world. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.